Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for joining this webinar hosted by Sacco System. Today, we will be discussing shortly how the market intends kefir and how cultures can play a key role to get rid of some well-known issues. But let me introduce myself first. My name is Lucio Lepera. I have a master's degree in food science and technologies. I've been previously engaged as line worker and R&D cheese technician for one of the biggest international dairy groups. I'm now one of the Sacco sales and technical area manager in charge for Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, Turkey, and Israel. So for those who still doesn't know Sacco System, I'm glad to introduce the group. Sacco System is the culmination of international biotech excellence applied to the food, nutraceutical, and pharmaceutical industries. Well, Sacco System's slogan of supporting food cultures and life communicates our company's mission to support the cultures for food and health, but also to develop cultures addressed to both humans and agriculture's animals. With the word system, we express the synergy between four companies: Kefir Clerici, Sacco, CSL, which is Centro Sperimentale del Latte, and Chemicalia. So this is a functional network which preserves the characteristic of each singular member. Nowadays, the family company invests around 6% of its turnover in R&D. And knowledge sharing, flexibility, and customization are the core values of this system. Sacco System has 7 production plants widespread in the world, sells more than 110 countries through a network of agents and distributors. And last year, in 2018, we generated a total turnover of 108 million euros. So far, we have more than 50 collaborations with university and technical centers around the world. And our collaborators come from more than 20 different countries. So this has created an intellectual and culturally platform to draw from. But how does every single company can help? Sacco is an Italian family-owned company that offers a large range of innovative products. This includes starters, cultures for food fermentation and nutritional supplements, as well as instruments for the improvement of food. The sister company, Kefir Clerici, has been an Italian leader in rennet production since 1872 and in 2006 acquired the Swedish company Chemicalia. Sacco furthermore acquired the Italian cultures producer CSL in 2013. But now let's move to kefir. I think probably everybody knows what kefir is, but I'd like to remark the meaning of the word kefir. A little bit of history first. According to Caucasian legends, Mahomet has given a secret recipe besides kefir grains to the inhabitant of the mountain. Nowadays, we do know how several fermentation occurred in an animal skin bag led to the formation of a thin layer sticking the back bottom and forming grains by becoming thicker and thicker. The outcome is an alcoholic fermented milk. Over the latest decades, this very popular and ancient milk-based beverage has begun to change its concept, and nowadays kefir has different meanings. So we have from the traditional one to a very mild edition with no yeast, from plain to fruity enriched with vitamins. In between there are many varieties including probiotics. Visiting many customers, for example, we experience how many production issues are related to the retail containers blowing, taste issues, and the stability of the end products, often leading the market recall, causing important losses. All these problems can be related to wrong culture choice And through this presentation, we are going to point out the most known. For those who doesn't know what kefir grains are well recognized globally, and they are chemically composed by water, polysaccharides, mainly isopolysaccharides, and proteins. The content of each can be origin related. For instance, from literature, we don't know how the Argentinian grains is higher dry matter than the Russian one. From a microbial point of view, there are many studies providing the several amounts of strains making up the grains, while some others focus on where the bacterial species are located over the grains. For example, we can find some bacterial species on the surface, like lactococci and streptococci, while some others are in the middle or in the core of the kefir grains, like lactobacilli and yeasts. As you can see by the table, the species dominating the grains are a small part of the kefir flora, while lactococci and streptococci, despite being just part of the kefir grains composition, are actually dominating the kefir flora. These latter were fundamental to better comprehend how the location of microbial species composing the grains affected the microbial composition of kefir, making clear which strains were really essential to produce traditional kefir-like products. But the question comes naturally. Is the traditional kefir what the market looks for? Are the grains essential for the production of all those kefir? So we do know by experience how the word kefir is originally addressed to the traditional one. But the reality is that the market has generated a wide range of products, varying from region to region, which are driven by the idea of making healthy, trendy, and tasty products. So the usage of grains has been defined very laborious, and improper management of the mother solution can lead to a drastic change in the final product flora, affecting both the rheology and taste. For example, we experienced that a 2-acid product with no body can be get if the kefir grain's mother is out of control. So nowadays, Sacco has been working for decades to fit properly all the market requests, aiming to propose the right choice before the client's needs. The usage of our cultures consists of just open the pouch and sprinkle its content into the tank. Every pouch contains a selected flora designed with the purpose to fit the wide range of kefir leading the market. In the following, we are going to see the cultures developed so far. In addition, I feel the need to highlight how hard our R&D and marketing team are daily working to develop and catch in advance what the market demands. So for those who produce kefir and fermented milk in general, they are really well known what a lack of body is. We normally recognize it also as a lack of viscosity. And the lack of body is an important issue which can be addressed, for example, to a wrong heat treatment, which is generally carried out at 95 degrees for 5 minutes, or choosing a temperature time combination which provides the same effect on the protein networks. So another step which improves the body of the product is the homogenization, which plays a key role either. And considering a full-fat cow milk, at least 2 stages are suggested with pressure of approximately 200 bars to get the best out from this production step. In fact, a better dispersion of small fat droplets coated by proteins directly affect the body and stability of the product's over shelf life. But we need to point out, and this is very important, that in low-fat products, which are very popular with young generation and people addicted to an unhealthy lifestyle, When the raw material lacking proteins due to seasonal change or milk quality, body issues can be noticed. In this respect, EPS, exopolysaccharides, produced from some strains are essential to give an extra body. They work as a natural stabilizers, enhancing the branching among the proteins network and giving an extra capability to bind the watery phase. So another well-known problem is the blowing of the retail containers. In fact, the gas development is essential for the production of traditional kefir-like products. However, the retail container blowing can sway the consumers, who can wrongly recognize the product as not safe. The consequences on the shelves are even worse. These products are generally recalled, and the producers sometimes are forced to throw them away. The outcome is an important economical loss. Carbon dioxide in kefir is yeast-related. There are non-fermenting lactose yeast, for example, which needs monosaccharides to ferment and produce carbon dioxide and alcohol, while some others, like pleuromatches, are able to use lactose as a substrate. These latter generally produce higher amount of carbon dioxide, besides giving the typical kefir yeasty aroma. However, a small part of carbon dioxide can be bacterial related. Some strains, for example, are able to ferment the citrate, which is naturally part of the milk constituent, providing carbon dioxide besides the acetyl, which is responsible of the buttery notes. Generally, all citrate is fermented before the filling procedures. Therefore, most of the CO2 is ripped off, and unlike yeast, the product can be slightly or not fizzy. So, the question is there anything we can do if I need yeast to control this defect, of course? In this respect, Sacco developed specific cultures containing non-lactose fermenting yeast, which accomplish with the needs to have a specific yeast count in the end products, but moderate amount of gas, reducing to some extent such defect. What about flavors in kefir? Flavors in kefir may vary according to the typologies. The one made with grains generally gives stronger profile, while cultures can offer a wide range of different sensorial properties. The yeasts are able to degrade casein to small peptides and free amino acids. The latter are converted to alcohols, aldehydes, volatile acids, esters, and sulfur-containing compounds. Especially, we can mention methionine, which is the precursor for volatile aroma compounds. Lipolysis of the fat component in milk results in the formation of free fatty acids, which can be precursors of flavor compounds to be formed in kefir. These compounds may include methyl ketones, alcohols, lactones, and ester. Lipolysis and decarboxylation of free fatty acids leads to the formation of methyl ketones, especially 2-nonanone and 2-heptanone, which are very well known as blue cheese flavors. These latter are normally appreciated where a traditional kefir profile is strongly required. However, the rising market is looking for an healthy product with milder notes, such as diacetyl and acetaldehyde. So, how can we solve part of this problem through the use of the cultures? Well, how can I improve the body? Let me introduce through the slide MT430AN, and MT430A and V. Both are EPS producers, therefore they provide an excellent body and mouthfeel. There is no risk of containers blowing and taste is pleasant and fresh. In addition, we designed two different versions of the same product with the purpose to let the consumers choose the one best fitting the market. There is one version which is yeast-free and another one which includes a non-lactose fermenting yeast. You can find, for example, at the bottom of every slide, a table which works as a guideline to identify the kefir profile. There are different sensorial attributes. The darker is the square, the higher is the attributes. Please, of course, consider them as a guideline. They can slightly change according to raw material and milk quality. May I produce kefir type with probiotics without renouncing to the other sensorial features? The consumption of probiotics as a way to strengthen defenses is widespread, and the assumption through the fermented milk has been diffused for years. Well, if 2 decades ago the usage of probiotic was just an enrichment for premium products, nowadays it's very important to widen the probiotic solution to all the existing fermented milk, of course kefir included. On this purpose, Sacco has designed MTX432EN, which is part of the new generation kefir concept. Namely, a yeast-free kefir cultures to get bodied, fresh, aromatic and healthy products, in which different strains of probiotics are included. But another issue could be a lack of a traditional typical kefir flavor. May I produce a grain type kefir using DVI? According to literature and experience, many different grains coming from different regions have been analyzed, leading to the outcome that Kleberomyces is very important to catch the typical flavor. As cultures producer, we decide to develop MT036LX, which contains the typical yeast Kleberomyces as part of the blend. Besides giving the typical kefir aroma and fizziness, this product is advisable for those producing traditional kefir type, getting rid of the inconsistencies occurred from grains. Today is a since every single batch has been formulated with the same amount of lactic acid bacteria and yeast, ensuring stability from batch to batch. We also produced a version without Kleberomyces to get a milder product, but including a non-fermenting yeast species, such as Saccharomyces. Over our business trip, we also met customers producing mild and bodied fermented milk, just seeding their milk with traditional yogurt cultures. These beverages are simply made up of Streptococcus thermophilus and Lactobacillus bulgaricus. For example, in countries where the word kefir has no restriction, of course by regulation, yogurt manufacturers are allowed to design the product which best fit their needs. The choice of yogurt cultures on this purpose allows the fermentation at higher temperature, generally in between 38 and 43 degrees, providing faster acidification and reducing the production time. This product can be used as a base to add fluids, vitamins and probiotics, which can act as a springboard to raise the value of the end products besides giving a healthy touch. So, as we have seen so far, the production of kefir can be intended in more different ways. From traditional, with grains-like strains, to a combination of yogurt cultures. However, The requests coming from the market may still vary. On this purpose, the needs to enrich the product with some specific strains led us to develop some alternatives. For example, on the left-hand side of this slide, you can see three different yeasts, KL8, KM7, and DH1. The first two belong to Cluveromyces species, while the last one belongs to the Baromyces, which can be singularly added besides your existing cultures to enrich, for example, the yeast content. Let me show you in the middle of this slide a new very interesting product, which is born to accomplish many requests coming from Russia, where the yeast count expected to is about 10 to the 4 UFC grams, and the yeast nodes should be just slightly present till the end of shelf life. Our MTF036LB has been enriched of a probiotic lactic yeast, patented as KB0399. You can easily Google it. It will be the first found, and it is worth it, since it consists of a specific Cluveromyces lactis subspecies fragilis, which has been isolated from Caucasian Kefir grains. On the right-hand side of this slide, there are two other families of cultures which are currently used in different markets to produce a yogurt kefir with probiotics. We are talking about SAB series, which consists of Streptococcus thermophilus, body enhancer, of course, or namely EPS producer, which has been enriched with two probiotic species like Lactobacillus acidophilus and Bifidobacterium. The series YAB, which is available in different degrees of viscosity, has been added of Acidophilus and Bifidobacterium as well, but is more indicated for those looking for green notes coming from yogurt's alternative. So, kefir has been probably recognized as the healthiest fermented milk-based beverage. In this respect, for those producing yeast-free kefir, the addition of preservatives such as sorbate would make it look as a non-fully natural product. On this purpose, protective cultures to go by with your starter cultures definitely improve the quality of the product. Of course, keeping control the spoilage yeast and molds from production to table. Furthermore, this culture has been designed to avoid any change in taste, besides giving the lowest level of post-acidification when properly managed. So as you can see from the slide, we have a wide range of protected cultures, LPA, which consists of Plantarum and Rhamnosus, LRB, which consists of Rhamnosus, and it can be used also during the milk storages to reduce the psychotrophic contamination. LR4PD, which is another Lactobacillus rhamnosus, which shows excellent result to protect the product against molds, and CLPC, which consists of Plantarum and Carnobacterium. Kefir, despite its Caucasian origin, belong to the entire world, and its knowledge is still in progress. So we expect further updating and new launches over the next years. So I really thank you all for watching, and I'm completely open to answer to some of your questions. So So there is one customer asking for the cryofast version of kefir cultures. So we have a wide range of cryofast products consisting of mesophilic heterofermentative cultures with EPS and not EPS producer, which can be combined singularly with yeast as an addiction. So another question from another customer is asking about the alcohol production in the final product. So the alcohol content may vary from the beginning, from the end of the fermentation to the end of the shelf life, and it can go from 0.5% to 2%, of course, according to the starter cultures in use. So we got one answer from another customer who is asking for LA3, Lactobacillus acidophilus and Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Of course, they can be combined to produce kefir with probiotics and non-fermenting yeast. So we are waiting for some other questions. One customer is asking, my kefir is often bitter. May I do something to solve these issues? So normally bitterness in kefir is yeast related to the high level of yeast and their probiotic and their proteolytic activity. The bitterness normally comes from beta-casein, especially from the hydrophobic part of the beta-casein. So some small bitter peptides can be generated therefrom, and the usage of cultures with a reduced amount of kefir can help. So another customer is asking about how it's possible to control the yeast count. First of all, we need to point out that we can choose two ways to produce kefir, as I showed over the slide. We can choose the way to produce kefir with or without yeast. Or maybe we can choose two different kinds of yeast, the fermenting lactose yeast and non-fermenting lactose yeast. This second one probably can be better controlled. For example, Saccharomyces species is one of them, while Cluveromyces, of course, is besides giving an extra flavor, is also less controllable. Another customer is asking if protected cultures can be used together with other starter cultures. The answer is, of course. One of the advantages of using protected cultures is that they can be used together. They can easily add it together with your culture, so they are easy to use. Another customer is asking, I have a small plant producing kefir and lack of viscosity occurs often. What can I do? So there may be different replies to these questions. Make sure your cultures are EPS producer on this purpose, and I'll suggest to set you up with me in order to evaluate which product best fits your production facilities and parameters. Of course, also the hygiene is very important to avoid any phage attack, especially if this virus attack DPS producer strains. Yes, one customer is asking if starting from pH lower than 6 can affect the balance of my microbial species. Normally, especially in yogurt production or in yogurt kefir, for example, there is a good synergy in between Streptococcus thermophilus and Lactobacillus bulgaricus. So, for sure, some strains grows better in at higher pH than others, while some can grow better at lower pH. So, surely the best to get the best out of your kefir is start from the regular pH in order to keep the right balance in between the species. So Lux, there are no more questions left. I really want to thank you again for watching this video. For further information, please contact us at webinar@saccosystem.com or you can directly set you up with me at l.lepera@saccosrl.et. Again, thank you all for watching. Bye bye.